Hi, beautiful souls. It's Lexi, the mermaid in the mountain, and I'm coming at you for just a quick little mindful moment. And I want to talk about triggers because I have been actively really aware of just how many times I'm triggered, right? And it's nasty. I don't like feeling triggered. I don't like triggering others, but you can't control anybody else, but you can control yourself. And I have realized that the more that I take my triggers, and I like to use this metaphor now, and it's like pulling the trigger to play whack a mole with your triggers, right? So it's like you gotta play whack a mole with these triggers. And as soon as that trigger pops its little head up, you gotta whack it with shadow work. You gotta. You know what I mean? And that shadow work is identifying, okay, I'm feeling triggered. Why? Why is this triggering me? And like getting to the root of it. And as soon as you do that, you empower yourself and you start to see things differently. So things that get it breaking that trigger down, and then you don't feel so triggered. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? Like for me, it started out taking me a little bit after the trigger hit, right? Get triggered, be in that emotion. It would trigger anger, resentment, shame, guilt, something. And then I would finally, either after that moment was over, I'd regret, oh man, I let that get to me. Why did I let it get to me? And then, I would kind of do the work. But now it's as soon as I notice I'm triggered, like as soon as I notice that I go into that fight or flight mode or into that survival mode or into that tense up feeling, I'm like, oh, here's a trigger. This is a trigger. This is an opportunity for growth and to actually apply change in my life now, in this now moment. And it's just super empowering. And challenges are always going to be there in life. There's always going to be like challenges and triggers. So, like, the more you become aware of yourself and your response mechanisms and why you're responding that way, the less it's going to affect you and bother you. And now I'm like getting realized, when I see somebody triggered by something I say, I don't take it as personally anymore or get upset. I'm like, ooh, okay. I understand it. Okay, they haven't done the work yet. That's triggering them for something. It's okay. We all have that. Okay. So it doesn't matter where you are on the line. All that matters is that you're trying, right? And for me, it was not even knowing that was like a trigger, right? Not even putting like the fact that that was something was like able to trigger the anxiety and the negative emotions in me, right? So it's like having to learn this like all over again, and then learning that I was able to, with practice, apply a different change my response mechanism and change my mindset around that trigger. And man, I'm telling you what, whack-a-mole with your triggers is the best way to handle them. It's like the game of life. We're in this game of life and looking at it in a way where, you take the power back and you put yourself in the seat to call the shots. Empowering, empowering. I'd love to know if any of this resonates with you. Please share below. Are you working on any triggers right now? What do triggers mean to you? Are you triggered over anything? Have you started to do that work? And, when I say, when the trigger pops up, when that ugly mole trigger and it's the reason why I feel like this game is so fitting, because have you ever noticed that when you get triggered with one thing, then a bunch of other things come up too usually, and then it's like I get overwhelmed because I'm getting so many triggers at once, and it's so many fight or flights, and I feel overwhelmed by the situation. So being able to like, okay, I'm feeling triggered. I gotta apply some of my, I gotta go to my toolbox of coping mechanisms and skills here and try some things. And really, for me, what has been the beneficial is taking the 3 deep breaths, acknowledging that I am triggered, acknowledging, and either doing an emotional freedom tapping, some EFT tapping, and going through like, I'm feeling triggered and I want to gain control of my body or my thoughts. Going through some EFT, there's so many different ways to do it. You can even just do the sides of your hands if you're like somewhere with people around and you don't want to do the whole routine. And if you haven't learned about EFT tapping, oh, girl, guys, whoever you are watching, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's tapping your meridian energy points, and you're tapping in And it's like doing some brain rewiring, right? And there's so many studies done that show how beneficial this is. And I was amazed, I was blown out of the water by this technique, because I was looking at studies and results, and there was such amazing results from it. And then I had already been trying it and was like, this is incredible, this is really working. And now my kids do it, and I share it with other people. So that's one of my go-to. And journaling, for me, journaling and getting it out, or talking to, my ascension guide, or, a therapist, or somebody that can, a sound mind that's going to just hold that sacred safe space. And that's like the key, is being able to work through these triggers and these emotions in a sacred safe space, so you don't go through the emotions, right, and the anger and everything, but you remain in control. And it's a game changer. I think it's a game changer. Let me know if you give this a try, or if you're already doing it in some way. I would love to hear your experience and what you think of this. So give it a try. Play whack-a-mole with your triggers. Whack them down with some shadow work or journaling, or, you gotta, I like to say whack it down with shadow work, right? Because it's whatever the shadow work means to you, digging deep into your dark shadows. And that's exactly what a trigger is. It's something in the, kind of in the darker aspect of, okay, of yourself, right, of life. It's anything lower frequency, and anger and triggering is not really the best, right? So play whack-a-mole with your triggers and empower yourself. Feel empowered. Be proud too. And if you do it, don't be afraid to celebrate, because celebrate all those little victories, all those little wins, because you deserve it. You're worthy. And this is your life. This is our life. We have to make the best of it. The more work we do for ourselves, the better we feel. And there is no such, like, the best investment is in yourself, right? So whether it's in your mind, body, spirit, soul, whatever, to make you feel better. And like this for me has been just a game changer. And I am, still actively working through lots of triggers. And I noticed, and that's why the whack-a-mole is like, this is like playing whack-a-mole right now with these triggers, because so many triggers were coming up. And I'm like, okay, slow it down. No, it's gonna happen. You can't control external things, but I can control how I respond to all of this stuff. So that's my little mindful moment for today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and have a blessed, wonderful day. I hope you had a beautiful first day of October. And I will be back for more mindful moments and lots more talking coming your way. Peace.